is my guest and co-host.
Good morning.
Good to be with you.
Thank you.
So a couple things real quick to start off with. We had a great event up in Maine last week where Tom Cole, the managing broker from our Brunswick, Maine office, was inducted as the president for the Maine Association of Realtors. And Tom did a great job, great speech, and I'm sure he'll be a phenomenal president. And Angela Levesque, who's our regional VP for Maine, did his introduction, and she did a fantastic job. We sponsored or co-sponsored the event, so it was really wonderful. It was great to be with so many people up at the Maine Association, and it's a well-run association, and looking forward to Tom's influence over the coming years. So again, Tom, Angela, congratulations. Let's talk a little bit about the market. So market continues to be somewhat uneven. Most of our markets are still running behind last year. And it's so fascinating to me where you've got kind of conflicting data. So, right now rates are at getting to be pretty much an all-time low, which is what Mark McCauley from Great East Mortgage had predicted. I looked them up yesterday. So national 30-year average is about 3.5%. And what was even more interesting is that 46% of all buyers right now are first-time buyers. So we've got a lot more first-time buyers coming into the marketplace as these rates are starting to float down. In addition to that, there's a 50-year high for employment. So you've got really kind of great economic dynamics, but yet the market is still showing uneven results. And as I referenced before, most of these markets will be somewhat down year over year. But then again, right, our September was 9% ahead of last September. And we're kind of a little bit better than the markets as a company. But still, it's a challenging market. I know how hard everyone's having to work to keep your deals together. Fall-through rates continue to be a challenge. We have, though, fundamentally really strong economic conditions to work with. Inventory, again, obviously, as everyone knows, is a challenge. So if you want to spend your time wisely, work on building your inventory. And I'll have a full review at the end of October with when we get the rest of the with the data in and all that. We were slow closing out September. We had a lot of straggler closings. So we just barely closed out September, I think, last week. So, and anyway, so we'll have more of an update in October. So, Chris, tell us what's new in commercial.
The commercial market is strong. We lag a little bit behind the residential market by way of trends, but we don't have anywhere near the highs or the lows that the residential market has. We also have no seasons in the market. Those looking for commercial leases, buying, selling, it's when it's needed throughout the year. Winter is equivalent to summer. The multifamily market is strong. Inventory is very low. So it is definitely a seller's market for the multifamilies. A lot of investors and even first-time investors are trying to get into the multifamily business, specifically with the smaller 5-6 units. And the experienced investors are always looking for the 20 or 30 units. And we want to talk a little bit about the referral program. We have a robust referral program from commercial to residential. Our commercial agents do not and cannot sell residential properties. We specialize only in all disciplines of the commercial end of the commercial brokerage business. The referral program, we pay 25% to any residential broker that refers to us, their client, a relative, a friend, somebody they're working with that's looking to buy, sell, lease, or on the landlord or on the tenant side of that side of the transaction. We've had many success stories since we've implemented the system way back. One, I can give you an example. A large multifamily, it was referred to us by a residential agent that just gave us the name of a client whom she sold the house of a relative, the mother of the person that she was referring to us. We worked with this person for many months, found a property, and it was the multi-$1,000 referral fee paid out to that residential agent.
Nice.
That's one very large, good success story. And just recently, we had a residential agent whose relative owns a business, and they were looking to lease out the space here in southern New Hampshire. This residential agent personally referred and came with me on the introduction, and we made a deal to lease that space, or at least sign the listing to lease the space. This just happened last week. So when that space is leased out, of course, that 25% referral would be paid over to that agent. We want to make it as easy as possible for you. The commercial market does have little idiosyncrasies that are different than the residential market, from the people we network with, to the forums we market on, to the tools we use to help market and sell or lease these properties. So we'd like to encourage you all to refer any commercial deal over to us. We will take great care of your client. We won't compete with you. We'll keep in touch with you during the process, and we'll work hard to make that deal for you. We're also, I've been working my way around to all the offices during the sales meetings. Many sales directors have been gracious enough to invite me in, that during your sales meeting I could answer questions one-on-one and go over our process while I'm there. And I haven't been in all offices yet, but I'm hoping to in the near future to get to the rest of the offices I haven't been to yet.
Yeah, great. Excellent. So how do you find the commercial environment, like with commercial financing? Plenty of money around?
Plenty of money now. A handful of years ago was tough. Now there's a lot of small banks out there, even the larger banks, but there's a lot of small, newer banks out there that are very aggressive. Rates are dropping again, even in the commercial market. They're still higher than what it is in the residential end, but there are a lot of bankers out there that are looking to and willing to and free with their money, and the terms are very aggressive. So it's a good market right now.
It is amazing the amount of liquidity that's in this economy, both in cash and finance-based liquidity. It's pretty amazing, really. And I think it's one of the things that keeps the economy moving, is that there's not that restricted cash flow like there has been in other economic cycles.
There is. It's a great time to be an investor in this industry. Look, two types. If you're an investor looking to get in, it's a great time to be an investor, whether you're buying retail, industrial, or even multifamily, because the tenants are out there and will fill it. So that money, although it's still free, it's a little freer to get, freer to attain.
It's not free.
It's not free. It's a little easier to get.
That happens, right?
It's close though, but so the interest rates are not as great as if it was an owner occupied. You're buying a building to house your business. But either way, it's a great time to be in the commercial market nowadays. Now the banks are, and it's totally different than the banks you use on the residential side. And there's different bankers and a lot of different rules, but we have access to them all.
That's great. Just a reminder, folks, so please feel free to chat in your questions. And we got a couple other things to cover, and you can chat in on really anything you want. It doesn't have to be just this topic, but if it has to do with commercial, Chris and I will have some time at the end to answer questions. Just one other thing about the commercial market. Is there anything that you're finding that's a more popular investment, like multifamily? Absolutely. Or small businesses, or are you seeing any trends that way?
So two come right to mind. One is, again, multifamily, and it's usually the 5 or 6 family is what there's a lot of first-time investors out there where they feel comfortable in the market again. They got caught back up. They have a savings. They want to take it out of where they're earning 2, 3, 4, even 5% in a good multifamily investment. If you manage it right, you can earn 8% on your money. There's a lot of buyers out there. There's not as many sellers at this point because the sellers are making 8, 10% on their money, so they're not ready to sell yet. So although that's a popular one, we're always looking for new inventory on the smaller multifamilies. The other one is industrial, where there's a shortage of industrial here in New Hampshire and even in southern Maine.
Yeah. If your proximity to Boston and all that, where all that growth has kind of moved more.
Small industrial, 1,500 square feet to 10,000 square feet. The builders are not building them because of the acquisition cost of land, because of the shortage of labor, the cost of supplies, and the most important thing is the environmental regulations. So they're not building it. But if a builder was to come out and build 20, 30 units and 1,500 square feet, we could have them leased out before they're
Talking about retail or
industrial warehouse, overhead door, storage,
steel building type.
Steel buildings, or even brick or wood construction, but mostly the steel. And those are the ones that the smaller contractors use. It's kind of a midway point in between, working out at a house and the self-storage unit and getting their own full large building on their own. It's a great market to be in. Shortage of inventory there. Retail is strong. Any of the small retail is renting out. That's not a problem. It does not stay on the market long. The larger big box, even though the call's been out there for the death of retail, it's just not true. It's still strong. The big box stores that are going out, they're being repurposed into smaller units, and so if you had a 30,000 square foot Sports Authority, it's getting broken down to 3 smaller units, and they're filling pretty much quickly. So it's still a good market in retail here.
Yeah, interesting. Good, great. Well, we'll have the opportunity to circle back around. So, want to move on now to our Better Homes and Gardens franchise renewal. So I think most of you know by now that we just entered into a long-term renewal with BH&G. It was a great process, and the brand has been so good to work with. They're truly a partner, and so we were able to craft a renewal. I think most of you have probably seen this now. It's kind of a 2-tiered franchise fee and custom designed for us, and kind of fits our markets well. And kind of the upshot of it is that it's going to increase agent earnings by almost $700,000, maybe even a little more. And it was a process that took about a year to work through. And but we are really very happy with how this all came about and the real collaborative nature with the brand. We were able to secure some territories in Massachusetts, so that's good. And we obviously maintained our Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont territory. And we're looking forward to expansion. And it's interesting as we were recrafting the fee schedule for something that would be a better fit, for us, for you. There's no diminishing in services, and as a matter of fact, it's just the opposite. Where BH&G really is the growth brand, the leading growth brand, within Realogy, and one of the leading growth brands within the industry. And they're very innovative about what they're doing now, like the Amazon account, which we haven't seen turned on yet here, but we will, I imagine, shortly. And things like that. There's another announcement that will be coming out soon. We don't know what it is, but it'll be another larger kind of retail type affiliation. So we're excited about the future with the brand. We're excited about our future. And, again, just the ability to collaborate on a renewal that would generate additional revenue for our agents in the form of lower fees with enhanced services is really a win-win. So we're excited about that, and I hope you guys share my enthusiasm with it. The other thing to kind of go along with that is for Jocelyn's group, who worked very hard on all of our behalfs to generate business. We hit a milestone this past September, just last month. This is the first time that we've paid out $2 million in agent commissions. So year over year, we're about $500,000 ahead in paid out agent commissions. And so I would suspect by the end of the year, we'll see that number grow to, maybe it's going to be, $600,000-$700,000 more than this past, than a year over year. That was how we, recalibrated compensation, right, where everyone's paid at their splits for, business coming out of the Business Development Center. And that's had that type of impact. So I think last year we're just under 2 million. It was like 1.9 something. So, we're ahead of last year already and paid out over $500,000 more. And the lead flow into that department, again, I hope you guys join me in congratulating Jocelyn and her team. the lead flow into that department is up by 50%. So I think we're ahead by 700 units or something like that. 700 incoming referrals, not closed, but just incoming lead flow. A lot of that is from Op City. But again, this is all about how do we generate more business and then filter it out. Now, of course, different types of businesses will have different patterns, right? So we don't necessarily get to determine what region business goes to. Some of that's just kind of the luck of the draw. So although we're significantly ahead, you might have some areas that are behind last year and some that are significantly ahead, because we can't regulate the geographic region in which lead flow comes into. However, the increase in business is really significant, and we're looking for more of that, where you talk about the Amazon account and then future relationships that are coming up. And this really is kind of truly the age of collaboration, where I don't believe that success can be gained individually. And we had a retreat with the managers, the sales directors last month, and a quote that came out of it that's really great, that I think we've all kind of adopted, is that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And this is a go-together environment. It's all about collaboration. How we all collaborate as an organization together, how we collaborate with partners that are outside of our footprint, like the H&G, Cardis, Amazon, right, different vendors, and how do we come together to have more opportunities to serve more clients and customers, which is how we all earn a living. So I think these are really exciting times all the way around. A couple other things real quick. Win in One. Take the opportunity to use this program to help build your CRM and build your database. It's so critical for your business. Listing inventory is going to continue to get tighter. I was just talking before about 46% of all home buyers now, all right, are first-time buyers. That is a huge number. So be thinking about going into first-time buyer markets, right? Great place to go get inventory. Leverage your CRM to do that. Use the Win in One program. I think Angela's done really a phenomenal job working with Lorraine to design that system. And your career is really dependent upon listing inventory. And then lastly, we have a home warranty video conference. I believe it's coming Thursday. That information will be in this flash report when it goes out. So that's what I've got. How are we doing for questions?
We do have a question for Chris P. The Hanover office is wondering, is there a commercial that covers the Upper Valley area?
We have about 12. We have 12 commercial agents throughout our entire system right now, from the Keene office up through the Rockland, Maine office. So although we may not have a commercial agent actually sitting in your office, we will cover all areas that the residential agents cover. So the answer is yes. We have agents covered, licensed in all 3 states, actually 4 states, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. Commercial agents, we're not as concerned about geography. We'll drive wherever the deal is. So if you have a deal or a referral you want to send us that's in the Upper Valley region, please send it our way. We'll match it with the right commercial agent.
Because it's really about skill set,
right?
Less about geography.
Right.
That's one of the differences between residential and commercial, right? Where if you're selling a business, the basis of selling the business is about cash flow and financial statements, which are really non-geographic.
Correct. The buyers, there's a lot of buyers right now. We're dealing with some that are coming up from Massachusetts and even from California, where there's a lot of money, but it's getting tough to afford or get good deals out in those states. So we're selling multifamily and some income or investment properties to a lot of out-of-state folks. So wherever you might have a deal, call me. We'll match it to the right person that can handle it, whether if we have somebody specializing in retail, multifamily, industrial, land, or even a business. We do have business brokers on our staff also, so we'll match it with the right person wherever it is.
Great.
We've added the link here in the chat, but what's the process if somebody does want to place a referral?
One way is to call me direct, but you could always start out with sending the referral to our email address we have set up, which is referral@masiellocommercial.com. That will go to me and Kelly Watson, who is our commercial support specialist. As soon as we get it in, we'll call you, learn a little bit more about it, and then we'll let you know who we're going to assign it to. Kelly will do the paperwork, which will get it over to both you and the commercial agent we referred it to, and that's just in our system, so we could follow back up when the deal is closed. Sometimes on commercial deals, or more often than not, it takes many months or even up to a year plus to close a deal. So we want to keep you in the loop and keep you updated as we roll along.
Yeah, great. Excellent. We're good on questions? Okay. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
For all the good work you're doing. Thanks for all the good work you guys are doing. Congratulations on a wonderful September. A 9% pickup year over year is pretty impressive. So enjoy the rest of the month. We're having beautiful weather so far, and the sales cycle seems to be holding up. And we can look forward to I think continued good fall activity and hopefully a strong first quarter. So you're all amazing. Have a great week. Take care.
Thank you.